Hello and welcome to my channel. Hold on. Take a walk with me. Walk with me. Take care of something. I left the shower on. Coming soon is a video about surviving. Going to the grocery store. I know it seems ridiculous. Everyone knows how to go to the grocery store. But it's discipline. It's about discipline, you know. There's this movie called Mozart. Mozart was a very disciplined composer as well as talented. You know, he talked about a note, you know. He would write music. And then, you know, the orchestra has to play it. He's like, how long do you think you can sustain that note? And he would keep, you know, he would write the note again and again. Players would have to play it. But then another composer thought about it. That would be beautiful, you know, if you sustain that note for that long. So, you know, how many times can you just be stronger and use more effort? Go to the grocery store where there's more selection and eye candy and good deals. Because it's so easy to just go to the corner store or the convenience store. But you pay more. You pay for convenience, you know. But in these trying times, you know, every bit counts, you know. Sometimes the athlete says, this is all the advantage, this is the edge that I need, just this much to be the best. Okay, let's get back to Ruth, the book of Ruth. Taking it easy. Take it easy. Okay, we are in the third chapter of the book of Ruth. Remember, Ruth is Naomi's daughter-in-law, and she has gotten the attention of Boaz. You know, Boaz likes what he sees. Now, Boaz, spoiler alert, is someone's like grandfather, someone very important. Like from Boaz and Ruth will come an amazing person, very important in Holy Bible history. You know, if Ruth, although she is a Moabitess, you know, not an Israelite, you know, if she wasn't his mother, sort of, you know, one of his grandmothers, then if she didn't meet Boaz, then he would not have been born. So Ruth 3, the next section is titled Ruth and Boaz at the Threshing Floor. One day, Ruth's mother-in-law, Naomi, said to her, "My daughter, I must find a home for you where you will be well provided for." Now, Boaz, with whose women you have worked, is a relative of ours. Tonight he will be winnowing barley on the threshing floor. Wash, put on perfume, and get dressed in your best clothes. Then go down to the threshing floor. But don't let him know you are there until he has finished eating and drinking. When he lies down, note the place where he is lying. Then go and uncover his feet and lie down. He will tell you what to do. "I will do whatever you say," Ruth answered. So she went down to the threshing floor and did everything her mother-in-law told her to do. When Boaz had finished eating and drinking and was in good spirits, he went over to lie down at the far end of the grain pile. Ruth approached quietly, uncovered his feet, and lay down. In the middle of the night, something startled the man. He's like, "Whoa, what's going on?" He turned, and there was a woman lying at his feet. "Who are you?" he asked. I am your servant, Ruth. She's like, it's me, Ruth. Remember? You said, hang out in your fields. I'm welcome to be here. She said, spread the corner of your garment over me, since you are a guardian redeemer of our family. The Lord bless you, my daughter, he replied. This kindness is greater than that which you showed earlier. You have not run after the younger men, whether rich or poor. And now, my daughter, don't be afraid. So, if you have been following along, watching a lot of my videos, I mentioned that Caleb, remember, he was a associate of Joshua. Supposedly, there was a mention of Caleb's brother. I said maybe it was a brother from another mother, because here we see Boaz calling Ruth my daughter. Ruth is not his daughter. Ruth is not even Israelite. She's a Moabitess. Don't be afraid. I will do for you all you ask. All the people of my town know that you are a woman of noble character. Although it is true that I am a guardian redeemer of our family, there is another who is more closely related than I. Stay here for the night, and in the morning, if he wants to do his duty as your guardian redeemer, good, let him redeem you. But if he is not willing, as surely as the Lord lives, I will do it. Lie here until morning. So she lay at his feet until morning, but got up before anyone could be recognized. And he said, no one must know that a woman came to the threshing floor. He also said, bring me the shawl you are wearing and hold it out. When she did so, he poured into it 6 measures of barley and placed the bundle on her. Then he went back to town. When Ruth came to her mother-in-law, Naomi asked, how did it go, my daughter? Then she told her everything Boaz had done for her, and added, he gave me these 6 measures of barley, saying, don't go back to your mother-in-law empty-handed. Then Naomi said, wait, my daughter, until you find out what happens, for the man will not rest until the matter is settled today. Let's go to Ruth 4. Ruth 4. This section is titled, Boaz Marries Ruth. Meanwhile, Boaz went up to the town gate and sat down there just as the guardian redeemer he had mentioned came along. Boaz said, come over here, my friend, and sit down. So he went over and sat down. Boaz took 10 of the elders of the town and said, sit here. And they did so. Then he said to the guardian redeemer, Naomi, who has come back from Moab, is selling the piece of land. Naomi, who has come back from Moab, is selling the piece of land that belonged to our relative Elimelech. I thought I should bring the matter to your attention and suggest that you buy it in the presence of these seated here and in the presence of the elders of my people. If you will redeem it, do so. But if you will not, tell me, so I will know. For no one has the right to do it, except you. And I am next in line. I will redeem it, he said. Then Boaz said, on the day you buy the land from Naomi, you also acquire Ruth, the Moabite, the dead man's widow, in order to maintain the name of the dead with his property. At this, the guardian redeemer said, then I cannot redeem it. Because I might endanger my own estate. You redeem it yourself. I cannot do it. Now, in earlier times in Israel, for the redemption and transfer of property to become final, one party took off his sandal and gave it to the other. This was the method of legalizing transactions in Israel. So the guardian redeemer said to Boaz, buy it yourself. And he removed his sandal. I don't think they actually gave the sandal. A strange custom. You take off your shoe and then you hand it to the other guy. And he probably hands it back to you. It's like a handshake. Yeah. Then Boaz announced to the elders. Then Boaz announced to the elders and all the people, today you are witnesses that I have bought from Naomi all the property of Elimelech, Kilion, and Mahlon. I have also acquired Ruth, the Moabite, Mahlon's widow, as my wife, in order to maintain the name of the dead with his property, so that his name will not disappear from among his family or from his hometown. Today you are witnesses. Then the elders and all the people at the gate said, we are witnesses. May the Lord make the woman who is coming into your home like Rachel and Leah, who together built up the family of Israel. May you have standing in Ephrathah. So Ephrathah has to do with this story, and be famous in Bethlehem through the offspring the Lord gives you. By this young woman may your family be like that of Perez, whom Tamar bore to Judah. The next section is titled, Naomi Gains a Son. So Boaz took Ruth, and she became his wife. Yea, and when he made love to her, the Lord enabled her to conceive, and she gave birth to a son. The women said to Naomi, praised be to the Lord, who this day has not left you without a guardian redeemer. May he become famous throughout Israel. So let me stop there. Jesus Christ, the Lord, he is the Son of God. God is three persons, God in three persons. There's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, our God. The Son of God, the Son, he is the Lord. But he is also like our Redeemer. It's just like, it's, you look at a pattern and then you make it a higher pattern. So Jesus Christ, He is our Redeemer. There are songs that sing about Him being our Redeemer. So Boaz is related to Naomi. Okay, remember Naomi had a husband, and then she had sons, and then her sons married Moabite women. But they all died. Her husband died. So Naomi, she's an Israelite, but Ruth is not, and her sons died, and one of her dead sons' ex-wives, I guess, just went back to her father's house. So, Naomi is not necessarily related to Boaz. Just like when you go to church, you pretend Jesus, the Lord, right? He's Boaz. And the church is like Naomi. And because the church is supposed to be like the bride of Christ, the entire thing, not you, not any one person in the church is not the bride of Jesus Christ, the Lord. So they talk about Him being the head and the church is the body. And then He is the bridegroom and the church, the entire thing is the bride. Now here's another way to look at it. Like Jesus Christ is the Redeemer, right? And then the church is the redeemed. So see what happened here is he bought all like her husband's property. So he is related to her dead husband, but not necessarily her. But she gets taken care of by Boaz. I mean, he doesn't like throw her off her his land. Now that he bought it, I guess that was not Israel's way. He owns that land. He's like very generous. He'll allow her to live on that land. But of course, why not? Because she was related to his relative. I mean, she was married to his relative. So you could kind of think of it that way. Like, as the church, you are able to enjoy, right, his things. And we're not talking about the groom and the bride. We're talking about a redeemer and the redeemed. Like, somehow he bought all this stuff, right? And you get to enjoy it too. And he won't like tell you to go away. And like you kind of held it because Naomi, she's a woman, so the property is actually more like her husband's. Like you held it, and then you were able to make a sale, or like he bought something, But until you make that sale, you have no money. You have no money. So when you talk about redemption, how Jesus redeems you, like he gives you worth. You know what I mean? So it's like Naomi had this paper in her hand, and it's not worth anything. She has to find the right person to be able to help her, get something for it. And then that was Boaz. So let me try to make this really simple. Like Jesus Christ is the Redeemer, and then the church is the redeemed. And then somehow he helps us to have life and like value. Because life was different back then. If she could live on that land, she's alive, She's safe. And she could do things, she could like gather things and sell them. She can gather things, and once she sell something, she has money, she could buy things, she could eat, and then some of the things that she gathered, she could like make it into food and sell that, So there's still a way for her. So that's what Jesus Christ sort of does, Somehow you're like, I don't know what to do, but my life is uncertain. I don't have life, I don't have any value. I don't have anything that I can do something with, so I can make a life for myself. And then he comes, and then he like redeems you, and he gives you like some life, and then he gives you something that you could do something with. He gives you like the ground beneath your feet. He protects you, right? So just remember that, like Jesus Christ is like Boaz, and the church is like Naomi. Okay, so let's keep going. Praise be to the Lord. We're looking at verse 14. And the women are saying to Naomi, I guess, sometimes people like you, sometimes people hate you. But I guess the women around this area in Israel liked Boaz, and they liked Naomi, and they liked what was going on, because they know Boaz. So they're like, may he become famous. Like, Boaz has done a good thing, and you are part of it. And he will renew your life and sustain you in your old age. For your daughter-in-law who loves you and who is better to you than 7 sons has given him birth. Then Naomi took the child in her arms and cared for him. The women living there said, Naomi has a son. And they named him Obed. But of course, this is like her grandkid. Yeah. Remember, Naomi's son married Ruth, and then he died, and then Ruth married Boaz. So then Ruth had this child. Remember, Ruth is her daughter-in-law. So this is like a grandkid. So they named this boy Obed, or Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. That's King David. The genealogy of David. This then is the family line of Perez. Perez was the father of Hezron. Hezron, the father of Ram, the father of Amminadab, the father of Nahshon, the father of Salmon, the father of Boaz. Okay, so Boaz's dad is not a fish. His name was just Salmon. Boaz, the father of Obed. And then Obed, the father of Jesse, like Jesse James, this cowboy, bow, bow, bow. And Jesse, the father of David. David, he's powerful. That's it. So Ruth is a book about how we got King David. Believe me, King David is a name you want to remember. So thank you for joining me, and keep God first. He'll take you places.